She's so cute. This is Mars. We got her, I don't know, 3 weeks ago. Rescued her from a dumpster. How racist we are. There you go, you little bastard. All right, hello there. Ryland isn't here today, so we're gonna do this one alone. Wait, gotta do this. Oh, look at that, it's already empty. Let's talk about Richard Lee Richards. Now, if you don't know who this guy is, you probably don't, and that's totally fine. He is a 60-some-year-old white man. I think he's 60, if I'm doing my math correctly. He's a white guy who was shot by police, a white cop, 9 times in the back for nothing. That's right, literally for nothing. Well, that's not the whole story. Actually, the guy has a quite extensive criminal history, and he had a knife in his hand, and he was advancing towards civilians. That's not the major part. This guy was in a wheelchair. He didn't present an actual legitimate immediate threat, but the cop thought that he did, and he just shot him 9 times in the back while he wasn't even moving. Now, let's be honest, this is an unjust shooting, and I think the cop should have charges pressed against him. Now, I just wanted to make this quick video to highlight that we're not just a 100% pro-cop channel. We actually care about reason, and just reason. Sane, moral, prudent. Look, this guy didn't deserve to die. I know he has an extensive criminal history. I know he has a knife in his hand. I know he made threats. I know he told police, look, this isn't gonna end well. But that doesn't mean you just skip every other less lethal option and shoot him in the back 9 times. He died on scene. He fell out of his wheelchair.
Not going to the store, sir.
Stop now! You need to stop.
Bravo 1-8, shots fired.
I'm gonna get my backpack.
The reason, the whole big reason I wanted to make this video was because if you look in the news, right? If you search Twitter right now, or anything right now, and you type Richard Lee Richards, or cop shot guy in the back 9 times, or anything related to this story, you won't see fuck all. You won't see anything. Literally no one is talking about it. Not a fucking soul. You wanna know why? You really wanna know why? The whole big reason no one's talking about Richard Lee Richards or that cop, who, by the way, isn't having any charges pressed against him. All we know right now, because this happened so recently, is that he's been fired. That's it, just fired. No charges pressed against him, no use of deadly force charges, nothing, just fired. And the reason no one hears about this is because the guy he killed was white. It's white on white crime. Not white on black crime, not black on white crime, not black on black crime, but white on white crime. Nobody cares about white on white crime because it's not part of the narrative. It's not part of the agenda, right? Go on Twitter, type in police shooting, type in domestic abuse, type in anything. You won't see white on white crime. Well, you will see it, obviously, that stuff exists on Twitter and then people complain and you hear about these stories, but it is majority white on black crime. A white person doing something to a black person, a white cop shooting a black person, or a white cop injuring a black person, or a white cop pulling over a black person for a traffic infraction, or a black person going to a BLM crowd and killing white people, and that person becomes a beautiful person of color. That's Darrell Brooks, by the way, I'm talking about. The guy that took his SUV and rammed it into a bunch of people at a Christmas parade, killing 6, injuring many others. The guy, a BLM supporter, so he's fine, by the way, because he's a BLM supporter. He's a victim of racism, and that's why he did it. We should set him free. He rammed his car into a bunch of people, killed 6 of them, and it's all good. He's a victim of racism, let's cut him a break. Next story. Because it's black on white crime. It's fucking pathetic. That is legit racism towards white people, right? Now, imagine if the races were reversed, right? You know that song that me and Ryan like to sing? If a white person did that at a BLM rally, that white person would be labeled racist, there would be riots, there'd be looting, and we'd hear about it in the news for 11 or 12 days. And then it would fade away, just like everything else. The Darrell Brooks guy, we heard about that in the news for a few days, and then it slowly faded away because it's not part of the narrative. Now, Kyle Rittenhouse, on the other hand, I don't want to drag out Kyle Rittenhouse too much because me and Ryland have already done a bunch of videos on Mr. Kyle. Love the guy, big fan. This is where you click off the video. But Kyle Rittenhouse, a white kid, went to a BLM rally and stirred up a bunch of shit on purpose and murdered 2 people, attempted to murder a 3rd. That's not what happened at all. He went to Kenosha, Wisconsin, which was a 20-minute drive for him because his dad lives there. That's 2 points, 2 perfectly normal points. He went there to clean up garbage. He went there to clean up graffiti. He went there to put out fires. There's lots of video footage of all of this, by the way. And if you look into Kyle's background, you'll see that he's a nice kid. He went there to do some really nice things to protect his community. His dad lives there, so that's also his community. And the fact that Kyle crossed state lines isn't a real thing. Kyle was given the rifle when he got there. So he didn't cross state lines with a rifle. Why the fuck is that your major point? 2 people literally died, and your main point every time you bring this up is he crossed state lines. Really? That's your main point? This is literally an undeniable case of self-defense. Kyle would have been killed if he didn't act out in self-defense. Yet Kyle is the racist. Kyle is the white supremacist. Kyle is the shit disturber. How's that fair? And I went on a tangent, but the whole reason I wanted to say all of this stuff about Kyle is because we've been hearing about it in the news for so goddamn long. A year. All of this happened last year. Now it went on to trial, right? So well, obviously all of us kept up on the trial and followed along. But you can follow a trial and not post about it on social media every 2 seconds, right? If the guy that got shot in the wheelchair was still alive and he took the cop to trial and that got dragged on for a year, would we hear about it? No. Would someone make a new video every 10 seconds about how Kyle is a racist murderer? No. Or sorry, about how the cop is a murderer? No. We wouldn't hear about it because it's white on white crime. Now, Kyle Rittenhouse didn't kill black people, but would you believe that there are people out there in the world today that still believe to this day that Kyle Rittenhouse murdered black people because they didn't spend 3 seconds to look into it. Just Google Kyle Rittenhouse victims. You can see them. All white. Now they're BLM supporters. That's where this whole racist thing comes into play. One of them was a sexual offender and the other was a wife beater. So I'm glad to see that you align yourself with fucking scumbags who deserve to die instead of someone just protecting himself. Anyway, just wanted to make this video about Richard Lee Richards, not Kyle Rittenhouse or Darrell E. Brooks, or even that black kid, Timothy Simpkins, who shot up a school, a black on white crime, so that's why we don't hear about it anymore, and that's why he's a victim of bullying. Timothy Simpkins literally performed a school shooting, but it's fine, because he was a victim of bullying, so let's just cut him some breaks. Imagine if the races were reversed. Imagine if Timothy Simpkins was white, and he shot up a school, and there happened to be a black kid, in the same classroom. Imagine, just imagine. It'd be a different story. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. The left has gone full circle, and they have now become what they hate the most. They have become fascists. They have become Nazis. They have become the censorship. They have become the cancel culture. They have become anti-free speech. They have become everything that they hate. They are legit racist towards white people. When a white person does nothing wrong and follows all of the rules, somehow they're still racist. Somehow they're still a bad person. That's racism. Anyway, want to end this video. It's long. I didn't think I would take 12 minutes to do this, but yeah, it's not fair. I don't like that cop that killed the guy in the wheelchair. That's unfair. I think he should have charges pressed against him. I mean, I don't know too much about the case. It just happened. But yeah, everyone's radio silence on Twitter. Nobody gives a fuck. Anyway, see you later. My mouse died. My mouse died. How am I going to end the video? I guess I'll end it by saying, if you like this video and you want to see more, subscribe, like, comment, share. I would appreciate it because I like complaining about this stuff. Anyway, see y'all later.